Ding 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 ding.
Fubble Time.
Hi, I am.
Hi.
Hi there. I'm Teresa. I was thought you were gonna say it. Hi, I'm Teresa Tomey.
And I'm Patrick Ziegler.
And we are
Fubble Entertainment.
And this is
Fubble Time.
This is the first time I didn't put my kitty up in the upstairs.
That was good timing, though. That was really great timing of her.
You can say hi for 1 second. This is the first time my cat has made an appearance. Hello.
Yay.
Excuse me. I'm going to go eat some grass. And then
No, wait a minute. Which one is that?
That's Pickles.
That was Pickles. Okay.
Yeah. So sorry about that. We digress. That has never happened before.
No, usually my dogs might bark in the middle of it, but we've never had an appearance of one of our pets.
We told our guest that we were really low tech here and really loose, and so that certainly proves our point. I am so excited.
Me too.
I'm trying to think. You worked with this woman as a student, right? Or were you ever her student? Yeah,
that's how
you met her. And then Patrick invited her to work with us on a children's television show called Come On Over. But this fabulous woman, Mindy Sterling, is a two-time Emmy nominee in 2017, 2 times for Best Actress.
Jeannie's here. Yay.
Oh, great.
People are tuning
in short form comedy or drama for her work on Con Man and Sex and Exes, written by and directed by Stan Zimmerman,
who is one of our guests.
Who's been our guest. She's probably best known as the Frau on Dr. Evil's German Handwoman and Lover in all 3 Austin Power films. We invited her here today for that reason and for a lot of other reasons, not the least of which is it is the holiday season. Yes. And she appeared in The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. She was also in Drop Dead Gorgeous. She's been in, go to IMDb. Everything, like just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. She currently is a recurring character on the Goldbergs with, we're going to talk about her work in Groundlings with one of her fellow Groundlings alums, Wendi McClendon Covey. She's been on Grace and Frankie, A Series of Unfortunate Events, Blackish, One Day at a Time, Two Broke Girls, Desperate Housewives, iCarly. She's done voiceover work, Loud House, Scooby-Doo, Chowder, to name a few. And like we started with, other than Come On Over, she has been a longstanding member of the Groundlings and an educator there and an incredible improviser, and we are so thrilled to have Mindy Sterling with us tonight.
Yay! Without further ado, Mindy.
Hi guys, how are you?
Good. How are you, Mindy?
I'm good. I think that we all should have had a Christmas tree in back of us.
I know. I saw on Facebook you got yours up, but it was the lights went out at the top, right? And then you had to redo it.
No, the lights. I start from. It's really hard to do the lights, and I start from the bottom because I plug it in, and then I do it from the bottom, and then as it went up, I thought, oh my God, I need more lights. So it was a bigger tree than I usually get, and so that's what it was. It was like it's always to me that's always the hardest is the lights. Anyway,
well, it looks wonderful.
It looks really good now. It's really, really great and back. But every now and then, the tree is starting to get dry in the middle of the night when you hear boop. It's an ornament falls.
Oh.
You have a dog. Does the dog go to the tree at all and mess with it?
No, they don't care for each other, and they don't bother anything. Except sometimes the dog will eat the cat's poop. It has a lot of nutrients in it. She's eating, the cat food, really, basically.
Yeah.
So, they like to do that.
We had a dog that would do that in the backyard with his own. So,
yeah.
Narcissism.
We had a German Shepherd when I was growing up, and it would also eat its own poop and then come over to you and lick you and kiss you.
Yeah.
I know. My brother's a bit of a germaphobe, and And I am too in so many ways, but I never really put 2 and 2 together about like the cat going into the cat litter and then jumping into bed with me. I'm like, yeah, that is gross, I guess. But
well, then how about this? How about this? When I take her out and she's walking, you know, dogs like to, they smell, and then they smell, they love, they want to roll around in the grass.
Yeah.
And I get mad at her. I'm like, no. And then I retrieve her, and then I go, all right, you know, I'm just letting you know, we're going to have to wipe you up when we get home. Just, you know, keep that in mind. When we walk in, you do not move. And it's like, you know, that's the thing, is that's what you have to do. Because, you know, I'm going to forget. And then I'm going to be all over her. And she's going to come on my bed and blah, blah, but that's okay.
Yeah, we love them. We love our little friends.
Yes,
I love that this was the start of our conversation. I do, because we're all pet lovers, and I know that you're really big about rescue pets as well, and so that's beautiful. But we're here to talk entertainment with you. So at least kitties clean themselves. My friend Denise Gunn says that. Dogs do too.
Somewhat, yeah. And dogs do, but you know, somewhat. You'll see. Depends on the cat. I have a cat that has a lot of long hair, and so every now and then you'll see a little doodle coming from her butt. Anyway, I had fun.
Yeah, that's close to the show we did, Doodle and Doodle Butt. No, but how fun. She just brought up that, you know, I first met you when you were my teacher at the Groundlings, and it was one of the best experiences. And I tell everybody, if anybody that's going into acting whatsoever needs to try to do the Groundlings, because it was some of the best disciplined training that I have ever had. And you were amazing as an instructor. And I went through at a fun time because Ariane Price was there with me, and Stephanie Courtney and Ken Sublet. And
it was with you?
Yeah, we were all in the same group.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was, we had so much fun, you know. But then what was really fun on that is that then we got to hire you on our kids show. Come on over, and you got to work with Ruth Buzzy.
Oh my God. I got to work
of
with
all people.
Ruth Buzzy, who was a gem. She was just so interesting to listen to and talk, and she's such a cool lady. And yeah, that would, to me, was like a you know, like a big thumbs up. That was very exciting.
We're getting some love Mindy's. Mark Kirby, I love Mindy Sterling. Brendan Vincent, love Mindy. Lots of love.
Brendan Vincent is an amazing composer and musician from Grand Rapids. So,
and I'm just sitting here thinking, you have one of those careers, like talking about working with Ruth Buzzy. And, you know, we've become friends over the years with Marianne Ross, who also has one of those careers where it's like you've worked with so many different people, because you work in film, you work in television, you work on stage, you work in improv. I mean, is there any, I know we're jumping way ahead because our first question is like born, but I want to ask this, like, and you were just saying before we got you on air, just how much fun working on the Goldbergs is right now. Is there somebody that stands out at you as maybe like, that was one of the most interesting experiences, or that they surprised you in some way, in a good way, surprised you in a good way?
Well, you know, every now and again, I have these, you know, like Oprah calls them aha moments, or somebody calls them that. And I just call them like, I could die tomorrow, and this, because this was such an exciting, you know, person, or I got to work with. And I did some little thing. It was remember the movie Dick Tracy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, and it was with Warren Beatty,
right?
And they were putting together. I don't know if it was like, you know, 20 years, or if it was just something where they were putting out the DVD, and so they were pumping it up, and they were shooting like almost like a little trailer for that movie. And so I remember Wendi McClendon Covey from the Goldbergs was in it, and I think they got a couple of Groundlings and stuff, and they got me, and I was playing, like, I think his agent or something. And so not only here I am with, Warren Beatty, but like when we weren't shooting, he would come over to us and he'd hang out and he'd talk to us. I remember his phone rang and it was his wife, and he was talking and he would talk to us. And I mean, that was just, to me, like such an amazing time. And I remember driving home with this smile on my face and thinking, okay, I had this incredible moment with this man, and I'm cool. This is good.
Yeah, that's a career. He's had a career. That's old Hollywood. He bridges that old Hollywood to contemporary Hollywood. Yeah, that's fun.
That's
and
awesome.
So you take those opportunities, those moments, even if it's not like a big thing, and you put it somewhere, and you're like, wow. I mean, that just filled me with such, happiness and glee that it was like something I'll never forget. But I do remember I was going through a divorce. I remember talking to him. I don't know, we're talking about something, and I was telling him I had a son, and going through a bad divorce and stuff. And then it was right around the holidays, and he said to me, "Well, we're gonna have maybe a holiday party, so that I'll make sure that I invite you."
Oh my God!
Went, really? And so then I guess he had to go do something, and I kept asking, I guess, one of the ADs or PAs or whatever, and I went, "Did you hear that? He wants to invite me. Is there any way that I can give you the information of my information so that I could definitely come?" And then I never heard from him again. But I was like, so, all right, here's my information. Please make sure that he did invite me.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Right?
Yeah. Well, Mr. Beatty, if you're watching, Mindy would like her invitation this year. Well, no, because this is a Zoom year. No,
next year. Next Christmas.
But I hold on to those things. So, but it was totally fine and okay. It was just the idea that he paid attention to us, and he was
That's cool.
thoroughly enjoyed what we did, and that was kind of a very cool time for me.
That's fun.
I love, because you probably talked about this. Denise says, "Is it true that Carly Simon's song is about him?"
No,
I don't think so. Is it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Oh, is that?
You're So Vain is supposed to be about him.
Maybe Mindy knows.
Oh, about Warren Beatty?
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought it was Mick Jagger, but okay.
No, she said it. It went, oh, well, interesting. I always thought that too. So we'll have to Google it. Do the Google on it later.
I was gonna say, if my husband's watching, he might know. So Mindy, do you want to jump in the Wayback Machine, Patrick, and ask the question that we usually?
Yeah, I think it's a fun thing. It's kind of how one of the first questions we always talk about, rather we got on pets, is just where and how did you can you remember, got bitten by the entertainment bug?
Well, I was really shy in school. My dad was an entertainer. He was a singer and a comedian, and he worked with Shecky Green. He was his partner at one time.
Oh my gosh!
Shecky Green is my go-to comedian. I just want you to know. I love Shecky.
He's still around in Vegas, and then first he was with I think he was with Shecky, then he was with Sammy Shore, or the other way around, something like that.
Oh wow!
And so I was kind of around. My dad was funny, but my mom and dad divorced when I was like about 8, and then my mom was very animated. My mother danced. I grew up in Miami, so she danced on the beach, in the clubs, and she was a dancer. And so I don't know what happened, but something happened where I thought, oh, I could act and I wouldn't have to be myself because I could play a character. So I think like the first thing I got involved in was in 6th grade. I got involved in drama, and they were doing the Mikado.
God.
Mikado
Wow.
at school. Yes. And I got to play one of the three little maids, and that was really fun for me, and I loved it. So I kind of, and my family always supported me in acting. They like always, like, they never said no. The only thing my mother said to me, which really helped, she said, make sure you take typing for, you know, if things don't work out.
Typing.
And
fall back on typing.
You know, so you could, yes, you have that as a backup, and because you'll be able to, you know, get a job anywhere. And I was like, okay, so I did, and then I ended up, you know, working like in, like I was always, I was a good receptionist. I wasn't really good typist. I used a lot of whiteout, but I think it just sort of happened. And because my family and my dad was, you know, that's how he made his living. And my mom, you know, had that. I took dancing. So it was just kind of all there. I guess my personality then became, I wasn't, you know, as long as I could be someone else, then I felt good to pretend.
Yeah.
It's really just about pretending.
So when did you find improv? Did you find that, like, does your acting, did that push your acting career, your work at the Groundlings, or were you already doing the acting thing before you went into Groundlings? Like, what's the journey there?
Well, I didn't do when I was you know, in Florida, in Miami. I did like just plays, like, you know, community theater, stuff like that. And then I came to LA. I think I was like 22 or 23, and I did community theater, did plays here because that's kind of what you know, how I grew up doing theater. And then no, I eventually auditioned for improv through the LA Connection. Oh. And I met all these people that then were either at the Groundlings already, taking classes at the Groundlings as well, or, you know, going to be there or something of that nature. So they were the ones that said to me, you got to go to the Groundlings. You got to go to the Groundlings, and you're so funny. You got to go to the Groundlings. So I went to the Groundlings and started taking classes there. And I just loved improv. I love the fact that you didn't have to memorize anything, because I have a really bad memory. I love the fact that you can come up with all your own characters. I love the fact that, you know, it makes you really listen. And I like playing off of people. I never wanted to do stand up. I needed an acting format for myself. And so to me, it's still one of my favorite things to do. I'd much rather do improv than have to learn dialogue.
So how long were you? So you were a member of the Groundlings, and then
I was a member for about 10 years. 10 years.
10 years. Okay. Yeah. And then how long into it did you start teaching?
So I lost my job. I was, you know, I was a receptionist at some place, and so I lost that job. And I remember I was taking classes at the Groundlings, and I remember Cynthia Seghetti, who was a huge, big influence in terms of being a teacher and in knowing improv, and she was an incredible teacher and funny lady. She said to me, "Oh, you need to teach. You need to teach now." And I'm like, oh my God, no, I was shy. She goes, oh no, you can do this. So, because I had lost my job and I didn't know what to do. And so I started, I trained under, I think it was Steve Hibbert. And then I just loved it. I loved teaching. And then, of course, the more that I did improv and the more that I learned, and, you know, and you're also learning when you're teaching, I just thought, oh my God, I was able to make a little bit of, you know, a little living. And then I got married. And so it kind of all just worked so beautifully in terms of why I was there. And this was the place for me to be.
I'm so glad you taught, because I got to be one of your students.
Got to work with. Before I ask my next question, I just want to say my husband, who was a DJ back in the day, looks like he says the song is about several men Carly had been involved with. She claims there were 3 in particular, but admitted that Warren Beatty was one of them.
One was Warren Beatty. Interesting. Okay, thank you, Fred.
That's been answered. Thanks, Fred. Stella. Hey,
real quick, this is an interesting question because you brought up being shy.
I was going to ask.
Okay, then do it.
No, keep the question up there because I didn't see that she had asked that question. So this woman says, how do you become unshy? Because you have mentioned shyness a couple of times. And do you still consider yourself shy?
I think it was shyness with insecurity. I think it was probably a little bit of that, not feeling, will you like me and da-da-da-da. So it's a little bit of that. I don't think I'm shy anymore. I think that I've grown into, I think the Groundlings gave me this confidence as a person. And I think too, when you get older and teaching, and because I never thought that I could teach 16 or 12 or 16 people in a class environment and be up there and talking to people. I mean, that was like, oh, that's too much. And so that really helped me, get on my feet and know that I'm good at something and I'm giving you what I have learned. And, just all of that really helped me grow up per se. And so I'm very, very social. I love talking to people. I love helping people. So no, definitely the shyness. In fact, sometimes I'm annoying. I find myself doing things that my mother used to do when I'm out and about talking to people that I would go, Mom, don't talk to everybody. And guess who does that?
I come from a family. We are like elevator talkers. We talk to people. We talk to strangers. It's just, it's a weird, I don't know if it's a compulsive thing you get to that.
I don't know, but someone will have something in the store and you'll go, I'm telling you, that's great. I bought that the other week. You're going to love it. It's like, why do I have to tell her?
So it's interesting.
You're connected to humanity.
You said you like to do improv so you don't have to memorize. I'm curious about, because I'm dyslexic. And so with auditioning, I mix my words up and everything. And I haven't auditioned for a long time. But tell us about the process of Austin Powers and of The Grinch and how those came about.
Well, Austin Powers was, I met Mike Myers at the Groundlings. We were doing an improv show. And Julie Sweeney brought him in from SNL. And we were doing an improv show and he was the guest, Cooking with Gas. And it was just, oh my God. And luckily he liked me, thought it was funny. And he always said to me that, because he's really smart, really, really bright, knows things and can pick things. And I'm not as quick, but I'm very committed. And so he said he loved that I knew nothing.
Oh, wow. Really?
So in other words, but it was one of those things where, but I would commit. So, and as an improv, you have to do that. So if we were given, something that I didn't know about, then I would just make things up. And he just thought that was hysterical. And so he was putting on a special show. I think he was trying out Austin Powers and he asked me to be in it. So it was like a, special show there. And so I did. I don't remember what I did. I don't know if I played a German. I don't know if I just facilitated his thing. So I have to be honest with you, I really don't remember. But, he's seen me and he saw me do work. And so, and then when they had auditions, I had to audition because, he wanted me and the director wanted me, Jay Roach, but I had to audition because no one knew me. You know what I mean? A new line was like seeing people that, had some kind of status and nobody knew me. So needless to say, it was like, I got it and I was floored and, and it was wonderful. And one of the best experiences I've ever had is working with him and everybody there. And, Seth Green, who is just a doll. I love him. So we keep in touch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and then the Grinch was, I remember going in and meeting, because they were like, Ron, going to meet with Ron Howard, and they don't have a specific part for you or anything. You'd be one of the town people, but he just wants to talk to you. And I'm like, oh my God. So I remember going in, and he was sat down, you just talked, and he just wanted to see what kind of a person you were and whatever. So it wasn't like, it's like, oh, and we're going to have you play blah, blah, blah. No. So I don't know how they formulated that, but another amazing film to be a part of. And he, so incredible as a director, so lovely. He was an actor. He gets it. He's kind and considerate, and he surrounds himself with really wonderful, lovely people as well. So, I mean, it's another one of those things you're like, okay, all right, I did that.
Yeah. I can go. Right, I can be done. Right. Yeah. But then we go, no, I want a little more. But that is really, that would be, I mean, working with Marion Ross, and she talks as well, just so highly of him in so many ways, as a person. And I will never forget, I lived in Burbank, right where Toluca Lake is. And I went there, and we were eating, and we were at Marie Callender's, and there was his whole family, his mom, his dad, and they had just been at like a softball game. So he had his kids, and I was like, that's so cool. Just him and his family right there.
Family man. I mean, he just was. He was that kind of a person. He was brought up, with respect, and he always, every film that he did, he hired his father and his brother.
Yeah. And now his daughter is a great actress.
Yes. Amazing, beautiful, and really good actress.
Yeah. Somebody says hello from Chicagoland. Hello from Chicagoland.
Hello, Beth.
Hello, Beth from Chicagoland. Welcome. Glad you're with us. I want to know, you are one of the few actors. I mean, some of them are doing this, but one of the few actors who has been doing stuff, because I feel like I saw a post of you in a mask and with things like, how has it been working in the age of COVID? Does it hinder you?
It's really different. Auditions are different because you're online doing it, and I never know what I'm doing, getting it right, and it's awkward. It's just a little awkward. And luckily, when people ask me to do something, I did a little PSA thing for Halloween. Maybe that was it. I do stuff because you want to be busy, and you want to, still have that opportunity to play. And then these kind of things, and I'm doing a radio show, like a podcast radio show. I guess it's a podcast, not a radio show. It's a podcast with Rainn Wilson.
Oh, fun. Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yes. And so, so it's just, you just kind of, hopefully people will ask you to do things. I just booked a show that I'll work on next week called Call Me Kat, and it's Maya Bialik's new show for Fox. So I'm going to do that. And then I was doing, the last several months, I was doing the Goldbergs. So it'll start back up in January. So I'm so happy and thrilled to do that. But yeah, all of us are just, it's one of those things where we're working. And when is this all going to change? And I don't think this is going to change real quickly as we'd like it to.
I know.
So we have to find different ways, and people are coming up with things and different things to do online. And I think that's really important.
That's a good segue into what you're doing right now.
Yeah, what you just did with Stan. Talk about that.
Yes. Oh, okay. So do I have the information?
I got it right here.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, I did a play a couple of years ago It was a 2-person play. It was called Yes, Virginia. And Stan Zimmerman, who you are good friends with you guys, who was an incredible man. He's a writer and a director and just a sweetheart. And what I love about his work is he always thinks outside the box. He's always doing something different and unusual with a piece. And so Arnisha Jones and I are the only 2 actors in this, and it did very well in this when we performed it. And so now there's theaters that want to see in Zoom and charge people to sit and get this glorious play in their homes. So we it's for I guess it's for a charity or it's for a benefit, and it premieres December 17th through the 21st. So hopefully you guys are going to put it online or something, right?
I did. I just put the link in there in the chat, because then people can click right on it and go right to it and buy their tickets. So December 17th to when?
The 21st, I believe.
Great.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say it's so different because we're really we look like we're together. There's virtual background. We're talking to each other. So it's really exciting. I can't wait to see the finished product, but it's a lovely, lovely play. And Arnisha Walker she's awesome, amazing. She was the only woman on Broadway that got to play all 3 parts in Dreamgirls.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That is quite a feat. That certainly shows your range of ability.
Yeah. But you guys did it together on stage. How many times together?
The Dory Theater. Well, I think we did it for a couple of weeks, and it's not really long. It's no intermission, but we got great reviews. It did very, very well, and we've been trying to keep it going. We really would love to do it like off Broadway in New York or something, and then of course we were going to do it, and then this happened. So this was nice that they're trying to find a home for it on Zoom. And
nice.
That's the big thing is, look, can you imagine if we had none of this during this pandemic, if we didn't have all of this technical stuff? So he's really put it together and like more than just a reading. It's definitely.
That's one of the reasons we created Fubble Time, because we had been talking forever about, let's do this together when we're together. And Teresa and I are not together that much, actually. Teresa's in LA and Grand Rapids, and I'm in Florida and Saugatuck Douglas area. And so it was
now. Where are you? Are you both in?
I'm in Michigan right now.
And I'm in Florida.
And he's in Florida.
Okay. So all of a sudden it was like, with this, it was like, well, let's do it. And it's been so much fun. A question, I don't know, how did you become involved as Arlene Scott's character? What is Arlene Scott?
What show is that? I don't know.
What show is that, Denise? She doesn't remember. You said you had a bad memory, Mindy.
Well, and you have a show list a mile long.
Danny Salas is here.
Oh, gosh, you. Hey, Danny. Oh, he's such a sweet man. He was the one that directed it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Come
on over.
Yeah. We also had the opportunity to meet Max, who joined you at Come On Over, and you were talking about you're talking about being family on set. Like, how often has he been able to come with you to set?
Well, when he was little, he liked it, but he didn't care about seeing me or hanging with me. He liked the craft services.
I remember that.
I remember he hung out in that room.
I just remember he would come to me. He'd be eating just a raw bagel, and I go, "How many is that?" And he goes, 3.
It was so great.
Do you want to watch it? No, I'm okay.
There was so many young people on our set, and they just like embraced him, and he just hung out with them. It was, I loved that.
I remember we got like a trailer, and so he could just kind of chill, and he was like, I just want to hang with everybody. It was fun.
That's right.
He did love the companionship. He did love meeting, because I only hang around nice people and wonderful people, and he really does like that. And so he's come away with me a couple of times when he was younger. I had to go to, I want to say Bethel, Maine. And I did the 12 Dogs of Christmas. And, and we had to stay there, and he came, and it was delightful. We just had such a nice time together when he was, so he really likes hanging out with show folk.
That's fun.
That's fun. And he's even dipped his toes in. Didn't I see that he'd at some point, didn't he do a little stand up or something?
He did. He just one day was like, I'm going to do it. And he started taking classes, and he had two performances, and he is funny. I never helped him with anything. And, but it's a lot of work. And he realized it when after he did it, and he was trying to do, trying to get on stage, and it was hard. It was hard for him to have to wait, and then you don't get called, or you have to come up with material. So, but I think he was definitely something that he was very good at. So I'm so proud of him for doing that. Yeah,
at least he did it. So many people. It's a tough business. I mean, just to even put yourself out there is such a vulnerable place, especially.
I can't do it. That's just way scary. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. And I love comedy, and I have a solo show, but the thought of doing stand-up makes my
very different. Denise says it was on Christian Slater's, you were Christian Slater's secretary.
Oh my God. Yeah. Wow. I remembered that, but I do remember the show, and I love doing it because it was Mindy not being funny. It was just Mindy being the good secretary.
Oh.
And
all your years of experience.
Exactly. And it was just, I got to do like a straight part. And he was so lovely, Christian Slater. And it was a very interesting show. And it just didn't go very long, but thank you for remembering that. Wow.
So do you pine at all, or how many non-comical roles are in your repertoire? And is that something, because people will always say it's easier for a comedic actor to do something dramatic than for a dramatic actor to try to be funny. And I think there's probably truth in that at some level. Are you interested in doing that kind of work?
Yes. I think it has to be the right thing for me. I think that I've done some stuff where I have been, legit. There's been some moments where I got to use, some, really raw stuff. So yeah, I would love to have more auditions, in which I can do that. But I also realize I'm kind of a quirky person anyway. And so I think that was the other thing that was really hard for me in the acting. It was like when somebody says, just be yourself. And I didn't know who I was at the time. And I was still kind of realizing, somebody the other day said, Mindy, just be you. That is so good enough. You don't have to try at anything. And, you're like, oh, yeah, I guess I am kind of quirky in who I am. And I think that's what makes a good actor, is when they're really comfortable with who they are and they can use that. So I'm still learning that and trusting myself, because I did so many comedic stuff. But I would love to do something dramatic. Yeah.
Well, we're closing in on our time, so I think we'll have to end on that note. But I am so excited to see what your resume builds to and where that goes. And that's exciting stuff.
And to watch Yes, Virginia. So everybody, once again, it's Yes, Virginia, December 17th to the 21st. And there's the link, and the link is in the chat, so they can just click right over to that. Mindy, this was truthfully a joy. I mean, you talk about being around nice people and creating that energy. And the Groundlings, I know, can be so cutthroat for so many people. I had one of the best experiences of my life. My first teacher was Mike Hitchcock.
Yes.
Then I went to Mike McDonald, and then that's when you took over because he was going off to do Stewart. And then I had a little bit with Tim Bagley, and then
Yes.
Melanie Graham. And they were such wonderful, nice people. And I think,
I think what you want from it. I think that people come in and either they have a chip on their shoulder and they know what they want, or they're just to learn. I just want to learn. I want to learn this process, and that's what it is. And I know the Groundlings are, they've got an amazing structured way of teaching, and so, but I guarantee you, anybody that's come through there, you've made a friend. You've made
totally.
Because it's family. I mean, for me, it's still family. I still miss that place. I'm sad that it's shut down now. I'm sad that I can't do the improv shows. So it'll come back, and I'm sure it'll be bigger and better than it was. But thank you. It's always nice to hear, somebody say nice things about something that you love, as opposed to, oh God, that place and so was so hard to work with. They were so mean. Whatever.
It happens.
I love, and we are still friends. And Ariane and I are very close. And she did my sketch comedy show, and we had a blast, and we still connect. And Danny
too. Yeah, let's share Danny's before we go, because this is beautiful.
Danny.
How wonderful that Mindy is still exploring her own craft. She is amazing.
Oh. Well, you guys are all, I'm telling you, I had such a wonderful time and playing with your show and getting to go out there and doing that, and then meeting, Ruth Buzzy, and so and we still keep in touch and all. And if there's anything that I could ever do with you again, work with you again, whatever, I hope that you will feel free to contact me, and don't think, oh no, she won't. You never know. You never know.
You are always in our conversation when we're talking about projects. So just know that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we love you.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mindy.
Stay safe. Happy holidays.
Thanks. You too. You too.
All right.
Bye.
And
after they watch her on Yes, Virginia, they can check her out on Grinch. It's got to be playing someplace.
She popped out.
She's gone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think she forgot. We talked to our little guests afterwards. Our little guests.
That's condescending and gross. We'll talk to our little guests after we're done.
I didn't mean it to sound that way. So that was fun. I mean, these are all fun. Each one is so special. And so next week is a special one as well.
Yeah, next week is a whole kind of different vibe. But it's still holiday. And do you want to share who we're chatting with next week?
We are chatting with dear friends of mine, and Teresa knows them as well, but I've been able to collaborate with them. But it is Tom Watson and Rick Carl, who are known in being part of the colorization of I Love Lucy, and specifically starting with the Christmas episode. So we're going to talk about their experience, how they do this, the work around it, and they're just two of my dearest friends that I love and adore. So I'm beyond thrilled. Oh, look at yay. Hi. We'll see you next week, Rick.
Yes, Rick, it's going to be fun. I'm excited because I don't know so much about this. I whenever we end up going to LA, or Patrick comes out to LA, he goes out with his Lucy friends, and they usually go to the Parse.
Yeah.
And they chat all things Lucy. So I get to hear it from Patrick. So I'm excited to get to have a conversation with you, Rick.
I know. Rick is extremely talented. Both of them are, but it'll be very fun to talk about that and the process. So tune in next week for Fubble Time.
And what do we say?